Hi, friends. Welcome back. Or if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. I'm T. Today, I'm going to be doing a review of the New Look 6414 and also the jelly popcorn fabric that was sponsored to me by Minerva. So both the pattern and the fabric was sponsored to me by Minerva, and I'm going to be giving you my review of both of those. I'll start with the fabric and then I'll tell you more about the pattern and how the fabric sewed with the pattern. So to start off, this jelly popcorn fabric that was sponsored to me by Minerva is a beautiful, beautiful viscose challis fabric. I'll make sure that I put the link to this particular fabric in the description box below. However, it comes in different colorways. I purchased, I think, 3 or 4 of these last year, and I absolutely love this fabric. It's just such a beautiful fabric. And as I mentioned before, you can get it in so many different colors. The drape is really nice. I washed it before doing the project and after, and the color retention is amazing. I also pressed the fabric as well before cutting out my fabric. And I always recommend starching your fabrics, especially viscose challis fabrics, before you cut them because it offers stability for your fabrics and it won't shift and move as much as you're cutting your fabric. And so it really sewed really beautifully. The kit included the fabric as well as the pattern and all the notions I needed to complete the project, which was elastic, thread, needles. Minerva is really good about doing that. So I had fun sewing this and I am excited to share with you my review. So the pattern, the New Look 6414, come in sizes 8 to 20. It has 4 different variations with different sleeve variations, neckline variations, and also length variations. So I chose the body of view C and the neckline of view C and the sleeves of view B. So the sleeves of view B, you're supposed to put like a cuff at the bottom of the sleeve, but I put an elastic in that sleeve instead of a cuff. For view A, it's a sleeveless option. It's a V neckline, but on the top of the V neckline, you have a really thin band, which is really cute. View B is also a variation of view A, except you do have long sleeves. View D, you have these small cap sleeves, and also you have a beautiful yoke on the shoulder there. And for view C, you have a two-part, not a two-part sleeve like the traditional two-part sleeve you think of when the sleeve is split from front to back, but it's a top sleeve and then a lower bell sleeve that is attached to that top sleeve. I decided not to do that variation because I think, I don't know, it's a lot of sleeve for me. I like my sleeves either semi-fitted or, if it's going to be a bishop sleeve, I want to be able to gather it in so it's not like hanging in my food or anything like that. So I decided to go with sleeve B. Now for the variations that I chose and this, I'm sorry, for the um, size that I chose and also the modifications that I've made, um, they were obviously to accommodate my body type. Minerva do ask us to sew the pattern straight out of the envelope with no hacks so that people can actually see what the potential of the actual garment is. I did one small hack to it, which doesn't really take away from the nature of the garment, and that's adding ties in the side seam of my garment at the waistline because I wanted to cinch it in just a little bit. Like I said, it is a loose fitting style, more of a tunic, and so I just wanted to have just a little bit of a cinched waist, and so I did add those ties. In terms of modifications like adjustments, I had to do a 1/2 inch forward shoulder adjustment, a 2.5 inch bicep adjustment, which was really excessive, in my opinion, because I don't like going over 2 inches. But I did have to do a 2.5 inch bicep adjustment. The sleeve is very narrow for those individuals who have big biceps like myself. I measure in 15 inch, about 15.5 inches in circumference of my bicep. And I chose a size 18. And the 18 for the bust is 43 inches for the bust. And as you can imagine, the hip is going to be quite roomy because you do have this baby doll look, this wide baby doll look to the tunic. So you don't have to worry too much about the hip area. However, the bicep is very, very narrow. And so I definitely had to do that 2.5 inch bicep adjustment. I did the neckline of view A that don't have um, that little band that goes across the neckline. And I'll put an image here so you can see what the different styles you can make out of this envelope here, out of this pattern. As I mentioned, you have 4 different styles, including 2 different neckline variations. The pattern has a V neckline for all of the variations. The only difference is for view A and B, you do, like I said, have that small little neck band that goes around the front of the garment. In terms of views C and D, you do have bias binding that you're going to make, and a pattern is provided for you. And so you're going to make a bias binding, and you're going to um, put that on your neckline. Now, the garment is cut twice on both the front and the back pattern pieces. And so you do have a center seam in the front and the back. Before you create that center seam in the front, they have you put your bias binding on first, and then you sew your center seam, which makes it really easy, and you can do adjustments around the neckline more easily if there's some gaping, which I had some gaping, and I had to bring my neckline in about, I would say, about a half an inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch, somewhere around there. I wasn't calculating, but I did have to bring that neckline in just a little bit. It was gaping, and it also is very, very low cut. And so I also had to raise the neckline a little bit because it was more plunging than what you see on the model. And especially for someone like me who has a CD cup, I definitely would have to had, made those adjustments. So all those adjustments were made after the fact. I didn't do a mock-up of the garment. I did a mock-up of the sleeve, and that's how I knew I needed to do a 2.5 inch bicep adjustment. My concern was more so with the sleeve because I knew that I would be able to fit this top because it's more of a looser fitting top. However, I was more concerned about the sleeve after measuring the sleeve. Sometimes when you measure sleeves, depending on the type of fabric that you choose, it's not always cut and dry. And so I always make sure that I do a mock-up of my sleeve if I don't do a mock-up of anything else. So anyway, that was basically my experience with this. Like I said, I sewed a size 18. It was pretty straightforward. In terms of the length of the garment, it sits right below my lower thigh. And so it's not too long. I didn't shorten it. And I also did a very narrow 5/8 of an inch uh, hem on the bottom of the top. And for my sleeves, as I mentioned before, I put elastic in my sleeves instead of putting that little cuff on the end of the sleeve, because Minerva sent me the elastic. And so I just used the elastic instead. And oh, in terms of my shoulder, I did bring my shoulder up about a half of an inch because it was, hanging. And so I did bring that up a little bit. And I will say this for the shoulder line. Let's see if I can show you here. for the shoulder line, it's very, very narrow. I think mine's ended up being about 3.5 inches long here. So the shoulder line is very narrow. And so if you want to make those adjustments, make sure that you measure your pattern pieces to find out whether or not you need to make that adjustment, because it's very narrow. I actually found that out in hindsight of making the adjustment to my sleeve, because the sleeve was hanging off of my shoulder. And so it is very narrow. So I would say pay attention to that. But other than that, it's a really great pattern. I really enjoyed the process of sewing it. The fabric and the pattern combo is just a really great match with one another. And I really, really love this. I think I'm going to get some good wear out of it. I paired it with a pair of black jeggings and a pair of kind of light washed denim jeggings as well. I think it's going to be really great for like summer months, especially if you do the variation that's sleeveless or that have the really small cap sleeve. It's very loose, and it offers a lot of airflow. And so I think it would be really great for late spring and summer when it's really hot, especially if you choose a really lightweight cotton or a lightweight fabric, any kind of lightweight fabric. The pattern calls for batiste, charmeuse, cotton lawn, cotton types, crepe back satin, crepe de chine, a dotted Swiss, double georgette, gauze, silky type fabrics, and voiles. So again, this is a viscose challis, and I think it is really great for this particular pattern. So anyway, if you've made this pattern before, let us know in the comment section below what your experience was like, and if you enjoyed the pattern, what view you chose, what size you chose, and how it fit on you. I really did enjoy this project, and I would definitely make it again. I would like to make the variation B with the little band going around the neckline, and I think I'm going to be getting started on that pretty soon. This is definitely going to go in my top series. I'm going to be creating a top series or a blouse series on the channel, and look out for that. And this is definitely one of the patterns that I'm going to include in that series. I think it's really simple, easy to sew, definitely for your beginners and advanced beginners. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think of this make, and if you made this pattern before. I hope to talk to you all in the next video, and to have a happy and blessed sewing week. Bye.